Good morning. Yes, I've actually had a good sleep and I feel very, very well and refreshed due to having a few hours sleep. Yes, I do suffer from chronic not sleeping, which is also known as some fancy word which escapes me at the moment. Anyway, I've just poured a glass of Guinness, which contains alcohol. Yes, and I want to make a short video about alcohol. Yes, alcohol could be considered the first designer drug. And we all know about designer drugs, don't we? Well, I think alcohol was the first one. Centuries ago, somebody managed to make alcohol by rotting fruit and vegetable. Yeah, they didn't make this original designer drug in a laboratory because they didn't have laboratories in those days. If you don't know what a designer drug is, then go to Brighton, Sussex, England for a night and you'll soon be educated, because Brighton now is full of people, mainly youngsters, exploring the world of designer drugs. Yeah, there's loads of them. One of them, which is very popular at the moment, is called ketamine or ketamine, Ketamine. And some idiot designed this during a PhD in chemistry. And now, having invented ketamine, he's selling it all over Brighton for money. Yes. Anyway, alcohol I consider to be the first designer drug, designed probably by a caveman when his food went rotten before people chucked it in the bin. Yes. Alcohol is very, very common, particularly in England. It is banned in some countries, like, I don't know, I've never been there, but Pakistan, I believe it's banned because they don't believe in it. Various religions don't approve of it either. Alcohol. Now, alcohol is a slang word for ethanol. Now, ethanol is the correct chemical word for alcohol. Ethanol. Ethanol, yes. Ethanol, Ethanol, is the correct word for alcohol. And ethanol has the chemical formula C2H5OH, which I'll explain for the ones that are only doing degrees in chemistry. C2H5OH is actually 2 carbon atoms, C2, H5, 5 hydrogen atoms, and an OH bunged on the end. And an OH is, I think it's hydroxide. It's a long time since I did chemistry. And a hydroxide is an oxygen atom and a hydrogen atom with a very strong bond between them. Well, we're not teaching chemistry, but a bond is something that happens between atoms in chemistry. And a hydroxide, I think, is an OH which is, anyway, a hydroxide is an oxygen and a hydrogen bonded strongly because of their valency. Anyway, that's PhD chemistry, and we're not going to do that. We're going to talk about alcohol, otherwise known as ethanol, which is very, very widespread and the main ingredient in Guinness, vodka, and loads of things. Cocktails, yes, very, very posh. Cocktails, yes. And they bung this alcohol as the main ingredient of a drink, which they sell in a pub. That's short for public house, where you can go now 24/7 and get absolutely rat-horsed, which is English slang for intoxicated. Yes, intoxicated is what happens if you drink too much alcohol. Intoxicated comes from the word toxic, which means poison. So intoxicated actually means poisoned. It actually means poisoned by alcohol, probably in a pub, although it's cheaper to buy something called an off-licence, much, much cheaper. So people drink alcohol with the ultimate aim of getting pissed, which they call intoxicated. Yes, intoxicated, poisoned by a toxin, alcohol, a poison. And alcohol would not be legal, I don't think, if it just been discovered. It certainly wouldn't be legal because it is a very, very dangerous drug. It has lots of uses. One of them being to get a girl absolutely rat-horsed, pissed, so that you can have your evil way with her. Yeah, this is very expensive because in my day you had to actually buy the drinks for her. Now, you expect her to buy them herself and get intoxicated, i.e. rat-horsed, at her own expense, so that you can have your evil way with her. As this is progress. Anyway, back to alcohol. C2H5OH, ethanol, the original designer drug. You can become addicted to it. They don't want you to know it, because if you do become addicted to ethanol, alcohol, they'll call you an alcoholic. Particularly if you end up on Skid Row, living on the streets, just begging for alcohol. Yeah, look, here's an alcoholic begging for a cup of coffee. There he is. I bet he'd really like a bottle of vodka. That sort of thing. As they walk along with a cup of Greg's coffee. That's caffeine, another drug. More about that later. Anyway, alcohol needs to be treated with respect because it is an addictive drug. Yes. So we should tighten up the law as to who can drink alcohol and when. Especially doctors, because scientifically there are more alcoholics amongst doctors than any other working member of the population. Not many these days. Anyway, we'll keep it with we'll keep it with alcohol and make another video about doctors. Alcohol, the main ingredient of a drink served in a pub, or maybe in a fancy bottle of wine that you just paid £100 for. Alcohol is a very dangerous drug. Yeah, very, very dangerous. Yeah, and addictive. Alcohol, ETH, as doctors like to call ethanol, ETH, because doctors think they're so clever, they're the only ones that know the chemical formula for ethanol, alcohol, ETH. And they're very, very proud of writing on their nose ETH, which means, in their view, you drink too much, or maybe you're an alcoholic. So they'll write on your nose ETH, which means, I think you drink too much because I haven't had one yet and you have. Yes. Anyway, alcohol, CTO, C2H5OH, as we have established, is a very dangerous, addictive drug, which also kills you. Unlike marijuana, weed, which is neither addictive or bad for you, and so it's banned. But more about that later. Yeah, ethanol, alcohol, very, very useful. It's a very, very powerful germ killer, which is why they chuck it in hand wash in hospitals. Alcohol, ethanol, best kept in hand wash where it kills germs. But if you are foolish enough to drink it, don't drink too much of it, and drink it in something like Guinness, which apparently is good for you. It doesn't taste too good, but it's very, very good for you. Anyway, I don't know what the time is. I've only just woken up and I'm having a mouthful of Guinness. So the nurse will come round tomorrow and write on the notes on the stupid little app she's got, alcoholic. Yeah, had a mouthful of Guinness. Well, each to their own. But anyway, I think this is going on a bit. So that's enough for now about alcohol. Because I'm going to have a mouthful of Guinness and a cigarette. More about them later. So, good night, everybody. ETH, toodaloo, probably also makes you go to the loo. I'm going to finish my little bit of Guinness and have a fag. So thank you for listening about alcohol. Over and out. And sleep well. Good night. You will sleep well if you drink enough alcohol. Yeah.